We've now had a few trailers for the upcoming Hyrule Warriors game for the Nintendo Switch 2 titled Age of Imprisonment, and the Zelda community is aflutter trying to guess who or what this new construct is. This is amplified by the fact that the developers of the game are insisting that this is a canonical tale, which is a big deal because previous Hyrule Warriors games have played it extremely fast and loose with the timeline, to the point where the first game was outright described as a separate continuity by Zelda series producer Eiji Aonuma. Since Age of Imprisonment is set in the mythical era that Princess Zelda visits when she journeys to the ancient past during the events of Tears of the Kingdom, and since we experienced much of that era via various lore drops in the game, such as the Dragon Tears cutscenes or the stone tablets engraved by King Rauru and Queen Sonia's Chamberlain, we should be able to make an educated guess as to who this character is. After the July 2025 partner showcase, many immediately tied it to the ancient heroes aspect from Tears of the Kingdom. The reason seems strong due to its Zonai pattern adornments on the arms and legs and its four-toed feet. And then later, during the most recent Nintendo Direct, its connection to Link solidified after it demonstrated an ability to morph in a form wearing an archaic tunic, very similar to the one Link dons early in Tears of the Kingdom, and the game's key art features a version of the construct wearing a cloak similar to Link's Hylian hood in the era of the Wilds. And yet, despite all of this evidence, something is amiss. With respect to the new construct resembling the ancient heroes aspect, it is by no means a perfect match. Its components, like its four-toed feet, are inorganic, in contrast to the aspect's fleshy body parts. And the patterns on its chest are very different than the heroes aspect. They are much closer to the patterns on Mineru's construct. There is also a major issue with the presence of the heroes aspect in this era. When Link adorns the armor in Kakariko Village and speaks to Impa, she mentions that Link looks like the hero on the tapestry depicting the battle with Calamity Ganon 10,000 years in the past. But that battle takes place in a time when the ancient Sheikah and their technological prowess was at a zenith, which is logically many years after the era of the Imprisoning War. So how can this ancient heroes aspect be in two eras? The first mention of the aspect appearing in Age of Imprisonment I observed came from Zeltic in April 2025, soon after the Nintendo Direct in which the game was announced. When he posed a similar question to his audience, a bunch of people commented that perhaps the aspect originated from the era of the Zonai, but it was placed in a sort of stasis like the Shrine of Resurrection, only to be reanimated for the battle 10,000 years ago. And this honestly makes a lot of sense, because this is pretty much exactly what happened to Link in the 100-year stretch experienced in Breath of the Wild. In Zelda's diary, when she describes the discovery of the Shrine of Resurrection, this is what she had to say. It also has a long-term stasis function that can be activated and maintained until healing is complete. And it would also make a lot of sense if the Shrine of Resurrection was Zonai in origin, or more likely that the Sheikah built theirs on top of some unseen Zonai version of it. We can see in the new trailer that the Zonai built their castle directly on top of where the Shrine of Resurrection would be thousands of years later. And the healing pools of the Spring of Revival in the depths directly below this area are also completely surrounded by Zonai structures. Given that the imprisoning battle we witnessed in Tears of the Kingdom is lacking this hero construct, it almost certainly failed in its mission. It's also plausible that Ganondorf will corrupt it prior to the final battle, and it will serve as a mini-boss of sorts. As for the similarities to Link observed in the most recent Nintendo Direct, this is problematic because when Rauru meets Link in the present, or when Rauru and Mineru speak to Princess Zelda in the ancient past, they don't give any indication that they know of any iteration of Link or the Master Sword, past or present. Therefore, in order for this game to remain canonical like the developers have claimed it is, Link should be ruled out given that we never see him travel back in time. But there is one moment in Tears of the Kingdom when this is possible. At the beginning of the game, Link is placed in a sort of stasis while Rauru replaces his corrupted arm with his own. When Link awakens, Rauru makes it clear that Link was under for a long time. The time jump between when Rauru saves Link from falling to his death and when he awakens, is the only time Link is unaccounted for. It's the only window where Link could have traveled to the past without breaking canon. Link was unconscious during this time, so he has no memories of it. And given that we, the player, are Link, we are also totally in the dark. The room that this occurs in is the Room of Awakening, which has various connections with temporal manipulation. Its main feature are these cogs on the wall, which are reminiscent of similar ones in the Temple of Time, as well as the Gates of Time in Skyward Sword. And its nearby shrine can only be accessed after Link learns the recall ability, and its overarching theme is the ability to rewind. So what if during Link's slumber in the present, someone or something activates a time gate in the past, which pulls Link into the era of the Imprisoning War, effectively borrowing him to join the fight? Of course, it would not need to be Link in his entirety, just his spirit. This idea stems from the fact that in the Japanese version of Tears of the Kingdom, Minoru calls her construct a Yori Shiro, which is an object in Shinto that houses a kami. We've seen a lot of examples of this in the Zelda games, like the transformation masks in Majora's Mask, which house the spirits of the dead. Same thing with the Korok mask in Breath of the Wild, according to Tracy's Super Rumor Mill at the Woodland Stable. When the champions Urbosa and Mipha fall to Calamity Ganon, eyewitnesses hear their voices inside their respective ancestral relics, the Thunder Realm and the Lightscale Trident. Hylia's voice emanates from the goddess statues, and of course, the spirit of the Master Sword Phi was created by Hylia to aid her chosen hero. And based on an interview shared with me by another fellow Zelda tuber, Rinkuto, all constructs in Tears of the Kingdom are imbued with the spirits by the Zonai, meaning this new construct is almost certainly inhabited by someone's soul. Impressively, this was something Rinkuto predicted in a video 10 months before Tears of the Kingdom even released. It should be noted that Minoru is most likely responsible for the creation of all the constructs we see in Tears of the Kingdom, meaning, probabilistically, the new construct was built in Minoru's era to house someone or something in particular. I say this because of the lore provided in-game and in the new voice memories. In the game, Rauru explains that the Steward constructs were built first, and that the others come later as the need arose. I'm assuming the quote, other constructs Rauru refers to includes Minoru's spirit vessel and constructs like it, such as the one from the trailers. This would preclude the trailer construct from being built prior to Rauru and Minoru's era. It's confirmed that the constructs we see in-game were built by Minoru by voice notes such as this one.
Our culinary constructs were imparted with knowledge of both cooking meals and concocting medicines. Though they have no taste buds, they learn to mimic the movements we make when tasting food. Even my sister, who gifted them with the ability to learn in the first place, was surprised by what they gleaned through simple observation.
And it's possible the events being described in this voice note coincide with the creation of the construct at hand.
This was originally a port where materials from the depths were imported and stored, but it is currently being managed by my sister as a construct warehouse. Security is unusually tight. Even I had trouble coming here. But, knowing my sister, she has her reasons.
Although this voice note does reveal that Minoru is building her constructs using ancient schematics, meaning that the ancient Zonai were in fact building constructs before her time.
Though the flux constructs can enter a standby mode, reducing energy consumption outside of battle, they remain one of our less energy-efficient creations. Considering their limitations, I would love to improve on their design and give them greater range, but my sister says the ancient schematics for them are quite abstruse.
But without additional details about what happened to the first Zonai constructs, I still have to assume Minoru built all of the ones we've seen so far, including the hero construct. If it was built by the Zonai who came before Rauru and Sonia, then I have to believe this construct is the hero of the sky. And given that it turns into a bird, and given Skyward Sword's close connections to Loftwings and the subsequent connections to birds demonstrated by the Hyrulean royal family in the other games, That would be pretty neat. I appreciate you watching, everyone. Please subscribe if you'd like. Thank you. Hi everyone, me again. So as I was editing this video, another Zelda tuber came out with a theory video pretty much identical to this one. Because I spent so much time on this, I'm just going to release it anyway, and I'm going to show you that I actually posted this theory in a Discord server, the Dream Shrine Discord server, before that other video was released. So here's the receipts, and it happens all the time, no big deal. But a little bonus also, I have a theory from my daughter who watches me play all the Zelda games, and she's getting into Zelda herself, and she just read the Ocarina of Time manga. And so here you go.
So I have a theory where there's two birds that are very similar. So I'm going to start with the manga. It's the book that I found this in. So there is a bird tribe prince, the Watawa prince, and he causes lots of trouble and does not want to see Link at first, and he teases Navi. I personally like that series. Personally, I think that Navi was teasing him because she was flying in front of his face when he couldn't fly, so I think he's right. But what my real theory is that in Wind Waker, there's also a Rito prince, and he does not want to see Link at first either. So I was thinking maybe they're related. So I was thinking maybe that. So I was wondering if that was true. So I just want to put this in my next theory. Yeah, so that's it.